Welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robin French-Smith, and today we're gonna make some Lollipop bath bombs. So, this is a question that I see get asked quite a lot. So, and I had a mold that goes kind of with the Lollipop, not the Lollipop theme. What am I talking about? Goes with the up in the sky theme, up in the air, up in the sky theme, goes with that theme that we decided. And so yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how I do my Lollipop bath bombs. And yeah, so I have some gloves here. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on. And I have some actually that I made the other day. So not only can I, oh, you know what, y'all, I think I left the mix next door. Hold on. I did. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. Oh, God. Yeah, just pretend that that's not happening. Okay, sorry. Just kidding. So here's my mold. I was like so prepared that I didn't have it. Okay. So this is a Lollipop mold. This is a Cada mold, and they are smaller. They have a little space, like a little, if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. It's like a little hole, and you can put a Lollipop stick in it. So I'll show you guys how to do that, or how I do them. And yeah, we'll get started. What? That didn't happen. What are you talking about? So I have my bath bomb mix here ready to go. So this has everything except my citric acid in it. If you've seen me make bath bombs before, you know that one of the things that I really encourage people to do is to wait to add your citric acid until the end. That really gives you a lot of time to work with your mix, make sure that all your liquids get incorporated. And there are people who don't do that and don't advocate it and think that their mix does fine with that, and like that's fine too. Like, I'm just saying, like, for me, I found that it's way less likely that my mix is gonna dry out, or I'm gonna have premature reactivity and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, 810. So I'm gonna split this in half. This is a full size of the Humid recipe. And the thing with the Lollipop molds is they're really small, so you you definitely want to do like a partial size batch. Like, I would honestly do like a half size batch. So why didn't I just do that? No, because I already have my citric acid weighed out. It's fine. I'll come back after the live and finish it up. But do as I say, not as I do. Okay, I'll move my mixer right here so you guys can see it. Here's my citric acid. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. And I'll add my flakes now while it's mixing in. So I want this to be orange. And I don't know if you have ever looked at the color studies that we have, but one of my favorite ways to make orange is to do yellow 5, with a small amount of red 27, and that will get you a beautiful kind of neon orange. So that's yellow 5 and red 27, and that gets me one of my favorite oranges. Should be around this color. Might have to add more yellow to it if I want to, but it's like a really bright, very like happy kind of orange. So a lot of times people use yellow 6, and you can do that. It's just not, it doesn't like pop as brightly to me, so that's why I like to use this combo. But it's definitely just a personal preference. I also think that this orange happens to be prettier in the water, so there's that. And I did, it looks like to the ones I previously made, I added glitter, so we're going to add glitter. This is Super Sparkles from Nurture Soap. It is technically not a glitter, it's just the larger larger micron size mica, which can you see it go everywhere? So that larger it's going everywhere. That larger micron size mica, so it is a mica, so you have all those good benefits of mica. There's no like plastic in it, so I tend to prefer that to like traditional glitter. It will give the water kind of a shimmery effect as well, so I like it. All right. Now this puffy star, I don't have a the larger puffy star, but like I saw somebody post that they were having problems with the larger puffy star, which I cannot troubleshoot with you because I don't have it. Haven't tried the larger puffy star, but I can show you how I do the small puffy star. Like, you know, let's give it a shot. Okay, so I have these Lollipop sticks. I have a couple different sizes. These ones are plastic. I have some down here that are paper. It just kind of depends on what your preference is. I happen to like the plastic ones a lot because I found that the paper ones, like once they're inside, like some of the moisture of the bath bomb can like make them kind of bend a little bit, but like that's just me. So, and I use water as my binder. You definitely need binder. Don't, even if you're using the Humid weather recipe and you're like, oh, it looks really wet, I don't need binder. Just disregard that. You do need binder. The wetness in this recipe is due to the oils, and oil wet and water wet, binder wet is like a different type of wet. So 3D printed molds tend to work better, in my experience, with oil heavy recipes. But just because a recipe is oil heavy doesn't mean you don't need binder. So if you're like finding that after you're molding it's still falling apart, it's probably like an issue with the binder, I think. Not always. I mean, that's the thing with bath bombs, is like there's just so many things that could go wrong. It's just, yeah. Okay, so I have my binder pretty much mixed in, and let's go. Let's see, I can move this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to take my 3D printed mold and I'm going to line up. I usually do like where the cutout is for the Lollipop. I usually put that at the bottom of my palm for this one. For my other ones where I can't, like, so this, because this is easy, right? I can just line it up like that. For other molds where it's maybe like a round mold, and you can't like as easily line it up, I will sometimes etch a line into my mix. or into my mold so that I can see where the line is for it. Oh, let me get a whacking spoon. Okay. I give it a whack before I unmold it because that kind of helps with like the mess. Kind of helps with the mess. Like, who are we fooling? It's not really gonna help that much with the mess, but I can pretend, right? Okay. So now I have my mold. I can't really see where that divot went, except now I can see it. It's right there. So I'm going to stick my stick into it just a little bit. Pull my stick back out. Just kind of gently tap it. Unmold. If it sticks, it's stuck a little bit, but like if it sticks, generally you want to just give it some taps. Don't like force it. And there you go. So I'll do a few more. So you can watch, and then I'll like look for questions as I'm doing that. But then I'm going to show you how I stick the sticks back in. So you really want to stick, you're doing the stick ahead of time, right? So that your hole is like part of the bath bomb. So that, because like once the bath bomb is made, it's a lot harder to go back in and like add the hole, right? So you want to make the hole before the bath bomb is made, and then afterwards you're gonna add the stick back in. And like honestly, so like when I do smaller versions of this, like different versions, and like my little hole guides don't line up, like I don't stress it, because generally the Satin ring is thick enough that like you can just add, you could probably make any small bath bomb a Lollipop bath bomb, like in theory, just because like it's really just about the Satin ring being thick enough where the hole goes, you know. And I'm not being very precise with the weights of these right now, so you know, I'm just kind of making a bunch for you guys and seeing what happens. But yeah, so I don't pack, I mean, everybody has their own style of how they make bath bombs, right? I don't tend to like pack my mix into my mold. I don't feel like that works for me. I feel like what works for me is like letting it be light and fluffy when I'm filling it. Letting it be light and fluffy when I'm filling it. Making sure that it's nice and wet, you know? So, yeah. And if it sticks, just give it a tap. That's the suction between the bath bomb and the mold, so I'm just gonna give it a tap. So the Puffy Star might get a little bit of a flat side from me doing them like this, and like, it's okay. I don't care that much. I honestly, even with my rounds, I kind of prefer when they have a little bit more of a flat bottom, because otherwise they roll all over the place and they irritate me. But like, if you want perfectly round puffy sides all the way around, number one, I don't feel like customers are gonna be like, oh, this one doesn't have a perfectly puffy side on the other side. Like, I don't think customers are gonna do that, but if like that is a concern for you, you can lay it on like, what's that? Bubble paper? Bubble wrap? There we go. Like how I speak in like code. What's that? I bet y'all knew what that was though, just from that like gesture. Okay, you do have to be careful though. So if you go too far, you'll break through to the other side. Okay, and you don't want that to happen. I just did that on purpose just to show y'all. See, and then it would like crack the top of it. So I generally go, it just depends on the mold, you know, but like you can go about that far into it, because if you think about it, like that's actually pretty far. But just do a few. You'll like do a few and then you'll like get kind of a groove for it, and you'll like feel it, you know, you'll like really get into the zone of it. Hey, Kathy says, hey. Jennifer says, you have yet to see me unmold a less than perfect bath bomb. Keep coming back, girl. Keep coming back. It happens. I do plenty where like I don't do them very well. So it's also one of the things I've found for me is that I'll show you the difference between like placing the whole hold on, I'm gonna show you. There's like an order that I prefer to do it in. So like I prefer to fill the mix, press the top piece in, give it a tap to knock off that excess, so I'm like not making quite as big a mess, squashing it, and then you can, okay, so you can put this guy in, and then sometimes you can like, I don't know, like I found, okay, I didn't do it with this mold, but sometimes if I like am not careful, like if I'm tapping too much and stuff, I can squash that little hole back in. So this mold is like pretty sturdy and doesn't seem to do it, but you know, just you might have to like develop your own rhythm for like this works for me kind of thing, which I feel like there's a lot of the bath bomb making process that's like you just do it this way because it works this way. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like perfect or whatever, but it's the way that it works for you. Kathy says that she hopes I'm feeling better. Oh man, you guys, last week I had to go have like emergency dental crap done, and I felt terrible. I'm pretty sure that, so I had to have a tooth pulled and then a bone graft and then a crown, and then under an old crown there was like a cavity under an old crown, so I had to have a root canal under that. It was like, but like all week, even after all that stuff was done, I still was feeling terrible, and I'm pretty sure, like today's the first day I'm like feeling back to myself. I'm pretty sure I had a dry socket. So like I did all the things that they say to do. Like I didn't suck through a straw, and I don't smoke, and I didn't do any of the bad things they like say not to do, but I'm pretty sure I got a dry socket. I'm pretty sure that's why I felt so terrible, like even after the surgery and stuff was done. So thank you. I do feel much better today. And also I was on some antibiotics, and like, I don't know if this is normal, but like amoxicillin, it kicked my ass. Like I felt, oh God, I felt like I was like so sick. So sick. Like, oh, see, I went all the way through right there. So I just had to do it again. But yeah, I felt just like the medication made me feel so sick too. So I was like, just didn't feel great. Jennifer says that I'm way less messy. Oh girl, that's just because that's what I want y'all to think. Okay. I just want y'all to see I only want y'all to see my favorite parts of me, okay? I don't want y'all to see the parts of me that are like not so great. I am a very messy person. Maybe not so much like in my work area, but like I like my work area to be organized, but like personal life, I have piles, and like my piles have like very specific purposes, and my husband knows, like, don't go mess with my pile, okay? That's like, that pile is doing something. I know to you it looks like he has OCD. I have ADHD and he has OCD, so that's like, the interesting combination. I broke it. See, who was saying like, oh, you never break your bath bombs? I'm doing this for you. Kayla says you call them doom piles. Oh yeah, like so the thing is, like, okay, when my husband and I first got, like, we're living together, we would have fights over the washing machine because he was like, he wants to do a load of laundry every single day. And like, I grew up with like laundry day. It's like Saturday is laundry day. And like, you just let your laundry build up all week until laundry day. I'm not saying either way is right or wrong, but you're like taking somebody who does laundry once a week and somebody who wants to do laundry every day, and you're like putting them together in the same house. It's like a TV show. Like, they would put two people like that and make them housemates on like Big Brother or something. Like, it's like a comedy. So we would have arguments about the washing machine because I was like, can we just not run it every day? Like, oh my god, it's driving me nuts. And then he would be like, if it weren't for me, there'd never be any laundry get done. And I was like, you're right. I lived my whole life without ever doing laundry until I met you. Thank you. So we would like go back and forth on it. But that's my biggest thing, is like my laundry piles. Because if I put it in the basket, he's going to wash it right away. And like, you know, your jeans need to like, they need to like season. They need to like cure a little bit or settle, you know, after you wash them. Like, they need some time to like be right. So you can't just wash those babies right away. So like, that's where it started. It was all like, this is my don't wash it right away pile. That's not where it started, but that's where my first acceptable pile, you know. Yeah. Y'all just learned a lot about me in just like 5 seconds, right? You're like, whoa, that is a lot of information. All right, so I'm going to transition from this. I'm going to cover this mix and I can come back to it later. Not like too much later. If I wait too long, it will not be good to work with, but that is one of the things about the humid weather recipe that I really like, is that like, as long as I cover it, I can generally come back to it later and work with it again. So I'm going to cover this and I'm going to show you how I do the drizzle. And I'm going to change my gloves. Don't judge me for changing my gloves. Trust me, if I was like not live, I would wash those gloves and reuse them. So I put this pile over here. I'm gonna bring this one over here. Sorry, I have some dragon eggs on here too, but we'll just ignore those. We're gonna focus on the stars. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do equal parts. This is a simple drizzle that I use for gluing together bath bombs. I don't like to use this as a drizzle on top of my bath bombs because there's no emulsifying agent in it and there's no surfactant in it. So if it's like the sole drizzle, for me it's too thick and it leaves like bleh on the water, and I don't like that. But for this, for like gluing the sticks in, or for like gluing two halves of bath bombs together, this is perfect for that. So what I'm going to do is equal parts of cocoa butter and I have a big box of cocoa butter. I like cornstarch, but you can also do baking soda. So I'm just going to do, for this one, I don't want like a whole bunch, so I'm just going to do like 20 grams of cocoa butter. And then I'll do 20 grams of cornstarch, and I might do a little bit more cornstarch, so the more powder you add, the quicker it gets thicker. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me pop this in the microwave. Okay, so that's in the microwave, and then I'm actually going to, wish I had a clean bowl. Hold on, I'm going to clean this bowl out. So I don't need that much cornstarch. I just want to sift it because it can get lumps, which is not like ideal, obviously. My hooks that I had up here on the wall, they all fell off like at the same time. So I've had this shop for like a year now, and like all the command hooks fell at the same time. And I was like, I guess that's it. They only last a year. So I have some screw into the wall hooks that my husband's going to put up for me. You don't have to sift it. You don't have to sift it. It just like helps with the lumps. And since I'm doing such a small amount, like and I'm doing it in like a tiny container, it's gonna be a little bit harder for me to like whisk it all the way through. But like if I was doing a big container of cocoa butter, I wouldn't really have to do that, you know what I'm saying? It also just gives me something to do while I'm waiting for my cocoa butter to finish melting. I'm gonna use a heat glove so I don't burn my little fingers. Okay, so this is mostly melted. And now I'm gonna tare my scale. And I will add at least 20 grams of my powder, possibly more. And make sure that whenever you're doing this, always make sure that you're using like a heat safe container. So this little canning jar, I love using little canning jars because it's cheaper than Pyrex, and you can just, you know, you get like a ton in a mix, and you know that it can withstand the heat. So it's like a staple in my house. We use canning jars like literally for everything. Okay, so this mix is pretty thick. You can see like it's thin enough that it like does a drip or two, but it's not like all over the place. It could probably stand like maybe, let's do just a couple more grams of cornstarch, just so that it's nice and thick for this display example. Okay, so now this is thick. Girl, she's thick now. Now, obviously I don't have like a ton of time to work with this, right? But for this, it's actually perfect for what I need it for. So I'm gonna take my, these are like cake pop sticks. So I'm gonna take my cake pop sticks. And I'm going to find a hole, dip my stick in it, and then I'm just gonna stick it right in there. Right? Once that dries, it'll be perfect. And then I'll have like a perfect little lollipop. So this is a question I see asked all the time. How do you add the sticks to the lollipops once you're done? This is how I do it. If you have a different way that you do it, I know some people use melt and pour. Because I'm in Texas and I have like extreme humidity, if I use melt and pour on my bath bombs, they will sweat, they will react, or they'll melt because it's so hot here, and they'll react my bath bombs. So I can't use melt and pour on mine, but I do know that some people use melt and pour, so that is another option. But yeah, you could also, you don't have to use cornstarch. If you have like an aversion to cornstarch, you can use baking soda instead if you want to. But see, you put it in there and it just sticks. And then if you have concerns about it sticking later on, you can always go back and do like an extra, you know, like you could do like an extra little dab or two of cocoa butter on the little joint to make sure that it's sticking together. And oh, Kayla says that you like to cut the stick in half so that it's not so long. Yeah, that is one of the benefits, in my opinion, to the paper ones. I don't like cut them in half, but like when I use the paper ones, I like to cut them like right there, because that does seem to be like the right length for them. So that is one of the advantages of the paper sticks versus the plastic sticks. So the only thing about the plastic sticks is I've told my customers, like, you know, you can reuse it if you want to. So there's like, but you know, the paper ones, they could recycle it if they wanted to. So there's always, you know, there's a pro and a con to everything. But that is true for the paper sticks, is that you can cut them. So like this is a paper stick down here, but it's like a shorter one. I've bought like all different kinds of lengths, because sometimes it's like, you know, you don't know exactly what you're going to use the project for. But yeah. So I'm just gonna, whoops. Okay. And I got one more. And then I'm going to show you another option that you could do with them. Like say you didn't want to do the sticks. Like the sticks just look like it's too much work, but you still like the idea of like the little mini bath bombs. You could also do this. Just put them in a bag. So like this is 5 stars. Haha. So that's another option. You could just put them in a bag. Like if you're trying to make it work and the stick, you're pushing it through too much, is breaking it, you don't like where it's going, it's cool. Just put them in a bag, you're good to go. So let me see if there's any questions, and then I'll definitely include links. I'll include links to this color study for the orange, to the humid weather recipe, to where I get my hair thing, to any other questions I see. But let me see, I'll just kind of scroll through really quick and see. Oh yeah, people agreeing with me about the jeans. Yeah, they need to get a little bit of flavor on them first before they're gonna get washed, okay? You got, like, you know, you gotta rub your hands on them, and they get that. I'm probably like a more like on the dirtier side of humans. Like, you know, just saying. I like a little dirt in my life. I think it's healthy for you. Yeah, so I think that is everything. If you have any questions, definitely ask a question, and I'll try to answer it if I can. But in the meantime, happy making.